Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about a very important topic, something that each and every person I believe should have in their lives, and I believe without it we can easily just be empty and chased basically ghosts. So I want us to talk about gratitude and how powerful gratitude is and how it has a huge impact in our lives. um I've always been someone who's been genuinely grateful. I'll show gratitude and I'll be grateful for things that make sense or that I see I should be grateful for. I've always been that child who writes a note for my mom to say thank you to her, to say, you've been an amazing mother. I even in my old age, I remember going to my mom's office at work and finding a note that I had written to her when I was in grade three. I think I was in grade three. That was like standard one. And I had written a note. I took an A4 page and I literally colored out the whole entire page. I thanked my mom for ironing my clothes. I thanked her for cooking for me. I thanked her for making sure that I was fed every day. How old was I in standard one? I think I was I think I was 11 or 12 or something. So but I really felt that I needed to thank my mom, and I felt grateful for everything that she was doing for me. I mean, almost every month my mom would buy me a new pair of shoes, like even if it was flip-flops, but it meant the world to me. Sometimes she'd buy a dress or a doll for me, and it felt amazing, and all I had was a lot of thank you. I'd get the occasional hiding for being naughty, but I would feel sad for that moment, but I'll move on from it to I'm so, so grateful. You know, this thing, it's not even something that you are, you can feel like, no, whenever you can easily be grateful because you have a lot of things to be grateful for. Every single one of us have a lot of things to be grateful for. So yesterday I was really feeling down and out of the weather, and I found myself complaining, something I don't do a lot of. I convinced myself that it's okay to complain, and I convinced myself that it's good, I should complain, and I convinced myself that it's the best thing to do. So I complained to two people that are in my life that I actually confide in. My one friend I complained to, and I complained, and they just encouraged me. They told me to be helpful, hopeful, everything is gonna be okay, and that it's almost like they pressed buttons and they were like, "Go ahead, girl. It's good what you're doing." It's almost like they were reassuring my complaining acts. Almost like they're saying, "Yeah, it's good. It's very good to complain." And then I called another friend because now I'm encouraged to complain. It's almost like they didn't even say to me that it's good to complain, but because they sort of comforted me and they're like, "You're gonna be okay," it's almost like that was pushing the complaining buttons. So I called another friend of mine to do the same thing, complain about the same thing. And this friend was like, I complained, and then she was like, "Oh, yo, I'm so sorry to hear that." Did the same thing. Then I just continued complaining, and she listened and she listened and she listened, and I complained. I went on and on and on, and then she responded and she said to me, "You know, I used to feel the same way, but right now I'm grateful." Yo. Right now I'm grateful, and uh we're friends, so I know quite a lot of stuff she's been through, and like in the season. And she says to me, "Well, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful." And she used an example where she said to me, she remembers just yesterday, like as I was speaking to her yesterday, so the day before yesterday, she had a situation where she was like, "Oh my god," because she's in Cape Town. She's like, "Oh my god, Cape Town is cold, it's so windy and there's storms and all of that's happening, and oh my god, I'm so like not happy about this." And she says in the middle of her having that rant in her head, she then she sort of had a thought that crossed her mind to say, oh my god, ew, I wonder how people are doing the squatter camps, how are they going to survive? And then it dawned on her that she's not in a squatter camp, she's living in a brick house. She's sure that she's not going to have a flood in her house during these storms. And she realized that that is one thing out of so many things that she could be grateful for. Immediately after that, I could not say anymore. I couldn't complain any further. All I could do was just shut my mouth and just be grateful for what I have, you know. So this morning I woke up and I was like, you know what, I'm grateful. I'm just so grateful, you know. So I it's very easy to go into that zone where you're just complaining and you see everything wrong, and there'll always be something wrong for you to see, but there's also something right for you to see. It's not just about a positive mindset, but actually being grateful and actually seeing where you are. You know, Robert Sharma said that be careful not to be too busy and worried and concerned about what your future is going to look like, that you forget to live today. You don't live today in living a life where you're trying to chase a future, you know. And there's nothing wrong. That is not to say that don't have dreams, don't have aspirations. It's very good to have dreams and aspirations to help you push today, but then live today. Have those mini victories, have those victories that you are excited about today. Those are mini wins, you know. You know, when you have like a war, you have those young victories that happen, you know it's going to happen for a bit, it's going to be prolonged for a certain period, but you know that there are those little wins in between. You know that if I win today, if I win this specific thing today, I have won. But you know, one thing that dawned on me today, like where I live, right, I always wake up to chirping birds, and I hear this every morning, but I never really take note of it. Let me tell you a young story. When I was young, my whole life, I've always loved the sound of chirping birds. And I've always told myself, yo, no matter what happens, when I grow up, I wanna have a house. I wanna live in a place where I wake up to chirping birds, and I just want to be woken up by the sound of chirping birds. And that has always been a dream for me. And that's why I've always just wanted to be surrounded by nature. I've always wanted to have trees. So, because trees, granted, if you're surrounded by nature, granted, you're going to have chirping birds. So this morning, when I woke up, I was like, oh my God. Like, all I could hear was chirping birds. And for the longest time, I've been living here for almost 2 years now. When I first moved in here, like the first night I woke up, the first morning I woke up, I heard the birds and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I got used to it. Imagine, I've only been living here for almost 2 years now, and I I got used to them. I got used to them. You know, I got used to them to a point where I forgot how much this was actually something I had asked God for so much. That's something I've always wanted my whole life, and I'm currently living in it. So this morning, I just heard the birds chirping. That's all. I could literally just hear them. It was quiet. I wasn't playing any music. I wasn't playing anything. All I could hear was the birds chirping. All I could do was cry. And I was not crying because I was sad, because I was so grateful and I had so much thanks to give to God, because this was an answered prayer. I know it might seem like something silly and something crazy, but I've lived in a place before where there was so much traffic, like in a busy very, very busy metropolis where there's like cars. It was hectic. It was very busy. And you know, even in that moment, I knew that I wanted to. And I remember when I was there for like 3 years. And when I was living there, I was like, yo, Lord, if I can live in that place, if I can live in that place. I remember I went away with my friends for like a week for a conference at church, and we booked, and the place we booked was like surrounded by nature, and every day I was waking up to those chirping birds, and I was just so grateful. And I was so grateful every time, like literally every morning I would hear those birds, because I didn't wake up to them in my like normal day life. So I actually realized this morning that I'm living my dream. I'm living my dream. It might not be like the end of the road, might not be where exactly I want to be. It might not be everything that I've always wanted, but the chirping birds, when you dream, you have those small things, or those seemingly small things that you always tell yourself, and you always spoke to God about, and you always told God that, God, this is what I dream of. And I realized that God has answered this prayer for me, and I couldn't help but be filled with gratitude. A lot of the things that I prayed for, and I like today, I just found myself writing down a list. Normally, I speak to God like when I do my gratitude. I don't know if I can call it practice, because it's something that I started doing this year, but I kind of lost along the way, especially most recently because my schedule suddenly became so busy. So it's something I've been doing every day. It's been my gratitude practice. There are different ways that people do it. Some people write down a list. Some people actually keep a gratitude jar, and every day write something they're grateful for, fold it in a piece of paper, and then put it in the jar. There's different ways of doing it. For me, it has always just been in the morning when I have my quiet time, and I just say thank you, Lord, and I'm just so grateful for this and that and that. I like to speak it out, because then I get to hear it. So I love it when I speak and I actually say it out loud, because then I get to hear it, and when I get to hear it, it's almost like it gets set in my mind. So it's been like, so this morning I was like, oh my God. And I actually wrote down an entire list, and my list got so long, and I realized how much God listens, and this year, Jay, I've just been realizing how much God has answered a lot of prayers that I've prayed, and even the ones that I'm not too hectic about. Those little prayers you say inside your heart, where you're like, God, and then you leave it there. God actually answers even those small ones. God has blessed me in such a tremendous way in so many areas of my life. I cannot even believe it. Today, it actually dawned on me. And the more grateful you become, it's true that gratitude attracts more. And as I realize this, and as I continue to say I'm so grateful and just acknowledge all the greatness that has been in my life, it's like now I'm becoming a magnet for more things to be grateful for. And I know it's impossible to understand when you're just listening to me, but try it out. Just try it out, and trust me, you'll see. Even the way you are becomes different. You even become a more pleasant person to be around. You're not just positive. You just radiate joy. You radiate love, and you become a reason for other people to be grateful. You become someone that God can use in someone else's life, because all of these things that happen in our lives are through God, yes, but God uses somebody. God always has a soldier in his army that he's going to use, and that soldier is you. That soldier is you. So I'm so grateful. I just wanted to say I'm grateful, and I hope you guys actually decide to try this, and be grateful. Be grateful for even what you might think is small. Be grateful for that, and just realize how blessed you are, and how amazing God has been in your life. This year this year has actually been a very, very amazing year. When this year started for me, like within the first 2 months, there was just so much happening. March this year, if you had spoken to me, I probably would have been like, nah, dude, no way. But I went through that because I focused on all the good things that were happening in my life. Especially the month of March, I was going through the most. But gratitude pulled me through. Because I was so grateful, I ended up being this happy person that walked around like everything was going well, because that's how I felt. It's so fulfilling. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. I love you all so much, and I pray that you get into this, and you catch this, and you run with it, and you do it for yourself, and you become these people that are just filled with joy, and you bring lots and lots of love into the world. And remember, win every day, win every day, win today. Start now, start today. Don't wait for tomorrow morning, don't wait for next week, don't wait for Monday. Do it now, do it today. Thank you for watching. I hope you've gained something, and love you lots. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to comment. Let me know what your gratitude practice is. Let me know what you do. In fact, you can even go ahead and share what you're grateful for, even if it's one thing, two things, 10 things you're grateful for. Yeah, lots of love, and don't forget to show love to those around you. God bless you and bless everything you touch.